Good morning, students. In this video, I am going to discuss the experiment named to determine the grating element of given diffraction grating. So this is the aim of the experiment, that is to determine the grating element of given diffraction grating. My introduction, myself Dr. Shivani from DAV Institute of Engineering and Technology, Jalandhar. So before starting the discussion of this experiment, let me tell you or let me explain you few definitions, that is what is diffraction, what is grating element, or what is diffraction grating. So first of all, I would like to explain you diffraction. So what is diffraction? Diffraction, it is basically a bending of light around the corners of an obstacle. So we know the rectilinear motion of light, that light always travel in straight path or in straight direction. But what happens whenever an obstacle of very small size comes into the path of light, then instead of moving into straight, light just bends. Light bends around the corners of that obstacle. This phenomena is called diffraction. So there is one necessary condition in order to observe diffraction pattern. And what is that necessary condition? So the necessary condition in order to observe diffraction pattern is that the wavelength of light should be comparable to slit width. So the width of the slit should be comparable with the wavelength of light. Now we know that for visible light, the wavelength of visible light is of the order of 4000 Armstrong to 7000 Armstrong. If I take the mean, then the mean is 5500 Armstrong. It means our slit should be of the order of slit width should be of the order of 5500 Armstrong. Now this value is very small. 5500 Armstrong means 5500 into 10 raised to power minus 10 meter. So such slips are not available to us in our day-to-day life. So diffraction, we can't observe diffraction pattern in our day-to-day life. But in our lab, we have special device which is called diffraction grating. So diffraction grating is that device which is used to observe our diffraction pattern. Fine. So what is diffraction grating? Diffraction grating, as I told you, it is a special device. Fine. It is a special device which consists of large number of parallel lines, alternatively opaque and transparent lines. So this diffraction grating, I show you the figure. This is the simply a glass plate which is containing large number of alternative opaque and transparent lines. You can see this black portion, this is called opaque. This may be treated as opaque portion, and this white portion, it may be treated as a transparent portion. So this is opaque, transparent, opaque, transparent. So it consists of large number of opaque and transparent lines. So opaque portion of this grating will stop the light to pass through it, but the transparent portion of this grating will allow the light to pass through it. It means this transparent portion between these two opaque portions is acting as a slit. Fine. So this transparent portion between these two opaque portions is acting as a slit. So this is diffraction grating, which is containing large number of alternative opaque and transparent lines, or we can say that this is a glass plate which is containing large number of parallel slits, which is containing large number of parallel slits because this transparent portion is acting as a slit. So let us analyze what is the dimension of this slit, or what is the size of this slit, or if the size of this slit is comparable, is or will be comparable to wavelength of light. So this device, this grating can be used to observe diffraction pattern. So if A is the thickness of this opaque portion and B is the thickness of this transparent portion, then there is one term which is called grating element. What is grating element? A plus B, it is defined as a grating element. So what is grating element? Grating element is basically the characteristic property of a diffraction grating. So characteristic property of diffraction grating, and what is the significance of this grating element? The significance of grating element is that it gives us the idea of slit width. So it gives us the idea of slit width. And if the width of the slit is comparable to wavelength of light, then this grating will be suitable to observe the diffraction pattern. So this is the picture of the grating, diffraction grating. This picture we have taken in our lab. This grating we use in our lab for experimental setup. So you can observe that here there is one term which is mentioned on this grating, that is 15,000 LPI. So what is the meaning of this term 15,000 LPI? 15,000 LPI means 15,000 lines per inch. So the manufacturer of this grating has mentioned that this grating consists of 15,000 lines per inch. LPI means lines per inch. So 15,000 lines per inch means this information will help us to calculate the grating element of this grating. So what is mathematical definition of grating element? The mathematical definition of grating element is that it is equal to reciprocal of number of lines in 1 centimeter. Fine. So grating element mathematical definition is it is 1 over number of lines in 1 centimeter, or we can say it is reciprocal of number of lines in 1 centimeter. So this information will help us to calculate grating element, that this grating is containing 15,000 lines per inch. So in 1 inch we know that we have 2.54 centimeters. So we can calculate what is grating element. We can say in 2.54 centimeter we have 15,000 lines. Fine. In 2.54 centimeter we have 15,000 lines, and in 1 centimeter we have 15,000 divided by 2.54 lines. And what is grating element? Grating element is reciprocal of it, so it will be 2.54 divided by 15,000 centimeter. And if I convert this into Armstrong, so we have to multiply it with 10 raised to power 8. So when we multiply with 10 raised to power 8, we get 16,933 Armstrong. So this is the actual value of the grating element for this grating. So you can observe that 16,000, this is comparable to wavelength of our light. So you can say that the width of slit will be half of this. So half of this will be near about 8500 Armstrong. So 8500 Armstrong is comparable to 5500 Armstrong. So now I am sure that using this grating I can observe the diffraction of visible light in my lab. So this is the actual value of the grating element, but the aim of our experiment is to find this grating element. That means we want to find this grating element experimentally. So let us discuss how we find this grating element experimentally. So for that, this you can see, this is the experimental setup for measuring diffraction grating, or sorry, for measuring grating element. So this is the experimental setup. So you can see here what is the experimental setup. We have this optical bench. This part is called optical bench. Over optical bench we have three stands. This one stand, second stand, and third stand. On one stand we have laser. So here in our experiment we will use semiconductor laser. Diode laser is used as a source whose wavelength is given to us already. So this is the laser. The second portion is diffraction grating. So this is the diffraction grating, simply a glass plate. I have shown you the figure. This is the diffraction grating which we have placed here. This is the diffraction grating which is consisting of large number of slits or opaque and transparent lines. And this third part is the screen. So where we get diffraction or interference pattern. So let me explain you what will happen here. So this is the laser. Whenever a light from the laser falls on this grating, so what happens? This light undergoes diffraction. Diffraction of light takes place because this grating is containing large number of slits whose wavelength, whose dimensions are comparable to wavelength of the light. So we can observe diffraction pattern easily. So when light falls on this grating, it undergoes diffraction. So at the resultant, we have large number of diffracted rays. Now what happens? These all diffracted rays will superimpose. Why? Because these diffracted rays are coming from the same source, so they are fulfilling the condition of interference. So when these diffracted rays will superimpose, they undergo interference and will get interference pattern on the screen. So basically what is happening here, two phenomena are occurring here. The first one is diffraction, the second one is interference. First of all, the light is being diffracted and then diffracted beams are interfering with each other to give interference pattern on the screen. So here we'll get five dots or spots, bright spots. This is first spot, this is second spot, this is third, this is fourth and this is fifth. So what are these five spots? I will discuss further. So this is the vertical portion of our diffraction grating. So here you can see these are the slits. These are opaque portion and these are the transparent portion. So when this is incoming plane wave of light, a light which is coming from the laser, it falls on this grating. So from each slit, light gets diffracted. So all the rays which are going like this here without any bending. All the rays which are moving without any divergence, they are collecting here, they are superimposing here to give central maxima. So this bright spot at the center of the screen, this is called central maxima or zero order maxima. So all the rays which are superimposing, all the rays which are moving further without any divergence, without any bending and superimpose, they will give the central maxima on the screen. Now what are these rays? These rays, this ray 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now these all rays, these are diffracted to an angle of theta 1. Let us suppose these are diffracted to an angle of theta 1 from their original direction, from their straight direction. So these rays, these are diffracted to an angle of theta 1. So when these rays which are diffracted to an angle of theta 1 and they superimpose, they give rise to first order maxima on the screen. Similarly, these rays which are diffracted, let us suppose to an angle of theta 1 dash, when they superimpose, they give first order maxima on the other side. So in this way, we can get central maxima, first order maxima. Similarly, with the rays which will be diffracted to an angle of theta 2, they will superimpose to give second order maxima somewhere here or second order maxima somewhere here on the other side of the central maxima. Right? So this is the how maximas are formed. So let us discuss the formula used of the experiment, how you can how you can drive the formula for measuring grating element using this diagram. So you can see here, if I calculate the path difference between these two rays which are superimposing to give first order maxima or central maxima, then that path difference comes out to be of the order of a plus b sine theta. Why a plus b sine theta? This path difference can be calculated. This portion, this is half of a, this is half of width of transparent portion, that is b by 2 plus a. So this portion is, this dimension is a plus b. So here, from here, if you calculate, these are two rays. This is the, I am just considering only two rays. These are two rays. I want to find path difference between these two rays. And if this angle is theta, this angle will also be theta. This angle will also be theta, like this. If this is theta, the angle between two lines and the perpendiculars are same. This angle will also be theta. This I have drawn a perpendicular in order to measure path difference between these two rays. This is ray 1, this is ray 2, and path difference between these two rays will be this one, this one. This is the path difference between these two rays. If this is theta, this will also be a theta. Now I told you this is the half of width of transparent portion. As I told you earlier that the width of transparent portion we have taken as small b. So half of the width of transparent portion will be b by 2 Similarly, the half of width of this transparent portion will be b by 2 and the width of opaque portion is a. So total this width will be b by 2 plus a plus b by 2, so it will be a plus b, and this part difference will be equal to a plus b sine of theta. So if I calculate the part difference between two rays, it comes out to be a plus b sine theta, where theta is the angle of diffraction. N is for nth order. For first order, n can be taken as 1, and for second order, n can be taken as 2. And we know that what is the condition of maxima, or what is the condition of constructive interference. So we know that whenever if the path difference between two rays is equal to, the condition of maxima is that the path difference between two rays which are superimposing should be equal to integral multiple of lambda. Fine, it should be equal to integral multiple of lambda. So if this part difference a plus b sine theta n is equal to n lambda, where n is any integer, lambda is wavelength of light, then this is the condition for maxima, or this is the condition for constructive interference. So here I can derive the formula for a plus b. Here a plus b is gating element. It can be written as n lambda over sine theta. So n is order of, what are the meaning of various symbols used here? A plus b is gating element, n is order of diffraction, lambda is wavelength of light, and theta is angle of divergence. So this is the formula which we are going to use to find the grating element in our experiment. So a plus b n lambda over sine theta. This is the formula used. So, what is lambda? Lambda is already given to us, as I told you that the lambda, it is mentioned on the laser. We are using the semiconductor laser whose wavelength is given to us, and it is 6500 Armstrong. So we are going to use lambda as 6500 Armstrong. Now, next question is how we can find this sine theta n. So again, let us focus on our experimental setup. So this I have used the vertical view of our uh, screen. This is the vertical view of our screen. The horizontal, that was the horizontal view. So now the screen is tilted, and this is the vertical view of the screen. This is the central maxima. This is first order maxima on one side. This is second order maxima. This is first order maxima on other side of the screen, and this is the second order maxima on the other side of the screen. Now, this is laser, which is incident on reflection grating, and from grating we know diffraction take place and then interference take place. On this screen we are getting combination of interference and diffraction pattern. If capital D is the distance between grating and screen, capital D is distance between grating and screen, and theta 1 is the angle by which these rays are diffracted to form first order maxima, then you can calculate. And what is small x1? Small x1, it is the distance of from the central max of the first order maxima from the central maxima. So this distance we can measure from our using the experimental setup. This x1 is the distance of first order maxima from the central maxima. X2 is the distance of second order maxima from the central maxima. So we will note these distances x1, x2, capital D. Similarly, x1 dash can be considered as distance of first order maxima from the central maxima on the other side of the screen, and x2 dash is the distance of second order maxima from the central maxima on the other side of the screen. So how we can calculate sine theta 1? So if I consider this right angle triangle, so from this right angle triangle we can see this x1, this is perpendicular, this is base, so hypotenuse will be Pythagoras, using Pythagoras theorem, it will be x1 square plus capital D square under the root. So sine theta 1 can be written as x1 divided by x1 square plus d square under the root. So this is the formula for sine theta. What is sine theta? It is as I told, for first order n is 1, for second order n is 2. So if I consider first order, so first order sine theta 1 will be equal to x1 divided by capital D square plus x1 square under the root. Similarly for sine theta 2, it will be x2 over d square plus x2 square under the root. So in general, the formula for sine theta n, it is xn over xn square plus capital D square under the root. So in our experiment, lambda it is given to us. We will note the capital D, and this is the observation table. For first order n is 1, for second order n is 2. We will note these four distances: x1, that is distance of first order maxima from the central maxima; x1 dash, distance of first order maxima from the center maxima other side of the screen; x2, distance of second order maxima from the central maxima; x2 dash, distance of second order maximum from the center maximum other side of the screen. So experimentally we will note these four distances plus this three. That means total 5 measurement, total 5 observations will take. So we'll note these 5 distances. From x1 you can calculate sine theta 1. Similarly sine theta 1 dash, sine theta 2 and sine theta 2 dash. When you put sine theta here, so you can calculate a plus b. Here n is 1, lambda is 6500 Armstrong, and sine theta 1 you will calculate from here. So you will get the value of a plus b in Armstrong. So a plus b is, that is grating element. So you will get the, so from this first reading you can calculate grating element, first value of grating element. From second reading you can calculate second value of grating element, third and then fourth. So you can note four values of grating element, and in the end you will take mean of these four values, and that mean of these four values will be your experimental value of grating element. Now actual value we have already calculated, it is 16,933 Armstrong. So with the help of actual and experimental value, you can calculate percentage error. What is the formula for percentage error? It is modulus of actual value minus experimental value divided by actual value multiplied by 100. So from here you can calculate the experimental error. So this is how you can find grating element of given diffraction grating.